Adam here, So Is Your Podcast. Got a really cool interview for you today. I got to sit down with Dan Price, who is a comic creator, has been in comics for a long time. Really awesome guy. We had a great conversation. It's one of those people that you meet along your own creative journey that just inspires you to do more and to do better. And it was just awesome talking to him. And I look forward to talking to him again in the future. He has a comic out on Kickstarter right now. It's called BIGFOOT KNOWS KARATE. Kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. I love the title. It's this insane adventure story that delivers exactly what the title promises and more. His Kickstarter's live right now, as I mentioned. I backed it myself personally. I recommend you do the same thing. It's the second chapter, so there is some BIGFOOT KNOWS KARATE already out there in the world. Hey everyone, Adam here, So Is Your Podcast. I'm sitting down with Dan Price to talk BIGFOOT KNOWS KARATE. How you doing, Dan?
Adam, I'm doing great, man. It's a good day today.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. I always like talking to comic creators, so it should be fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to this one for sure.
Definitely. So this is chapter 2 of BIGFOOT KNOWS KARATE, but before we get there, do you want to take people all the way back to the beginning? And I guess first with kind of your elevator pitch, and then we can kind of
Sure.
talk like the genesis of the idea.
Yeah, no problem. BIGFOOT Knows Karate is the story of a gentle yet deadly cryptid warrior who lives in a world where anyone can be the hunter and anyone can be the prey at any given time. We liken it to Godzilla versus Kong meets Kill Bill with a twist of Lost. And the first issue, well, how it came up was I did another book for years. Here, I've got one right here. Latex Avenger, right? And Latex Avenger had a sidekick named Spermicidal Foam Lad right there. And together they repelled crime 99.9% of the time. And I did several issues of that ridiculous book over the years, and even just did a crossover with Halloween Man. Uh, uh, we just did that over what is it? I don't remember whatever crowdfunding we did that over. And but originally BIGFOOT Knows Karate was going to live in that universe. It was going to be a comedy, and it was honestly, I mean, I love writing. I love writing comedy. It's my wheelhouse by nature, and it was terrible. I mean, it just wasn't a good story. And so a couple years later, back in around 2017, 2018, I started redrawing the character again, but it just was different. The look was different. The character's tone was different. He was isolated. He was depressed. He's a Bigfoot. No one knows he exists. How would that affect you if you were, this lone character in the woods and nobody knew you? And he knows karate, and so that started, Casey Allen, my co-writer, another gentleman on Instagram named Christopher Specht, and another gentleman named Drew Edwards from Halloween Man. All three of them were kind of prodding me. When are you going to do something with this, Dan? When are you going to do something with this? And I just was in a challenge to find a story that wasn't trite. I didn't want to do the guy gets trained, learns martial arts, gets trained by the master dies, revenge. I didn't want to do that. It's been done so many times. And so I took my sweet ass time coming up with a story for this. And what we delivered was something completely, well, I hope completely different from what people were expecting. We sold the issue on the fact that it was a smash 'em up story between BIGFOOT Knows Karate and our big bad Kung Fu Thulu. Okay, and we got a Cthulhu who does martial arts, got a Bigfoot who does martial arts. And we did that, and but the story ended up being so much more because we had this gnarly twist at the end where that nobody saw coming, and people expected it to just be a big old punch 'em up, smack 'em up story. We delivered that, and then we gave them a whole lot more. So at the end of the book, without spoiling anything for you, because I'd love for you to get the digital catch up or the physical catch up on the Kickstarter that launches tonight. I'd love for you to do that, but we open up in the second issue, and our guy is just in a world of shit. It's funny because he's isolated, he's alone in the wilderness. But what's worse, to be isolated and alone where nobody knows you exist, or to be somewhere where everyone knows you exist and you're completely surrounded by enemies? And that's where our Bigfoot is right now at the beginning of issue 2.
Well, you definitely nailed it on finding something that hadn't been done before. I can say that very confidently without doing any kind of research.
Well, thank you very much. It's different, that's for sure. I mean, this is a project that I've been cultivating for a lot of years, and I'm glad that people are taking to it. The first campaign was very successful. We were asking for $1,000 goal, and we raised 700% of what our goal was,
Wow.
and raised our goal in 7 minutes. The $1,000 we raised it in 7 minutes on Kickstarter, which I was just blown away, completely humbled that somebody would spend that kind of money on our books, and found that kind of joy in it. Like the Instagram community really took hold of the project. We received over 60 pieces of fan art before our first campaign. We've received over 100 at this point. And people just really took to the character, took to the concept. Look, and it doesn't help that the name rocks, okay? That the title of the book
Yeah.
really rocks. And I mean, not to be egotistical, but no, it's pretty cool. So,
It is one of those names when you're scrolling Kickstarter, even if you're like, only half paying attention, you're watching TV or something, and you
mhm,
see Bigfoot Knows Karate, you're going to be like, what is this? At the very
exactly.
least, you're clicking on it.
It is a yeah, no, I work in advertising and marketing for my day job, and it was just one of those headlines that was just like, this tells you what you're getting. At least to a degree, it gives you a really good, it's not like, the Avengers. Well, what does that mean? We know who they are because we've seen the movies and read the books and all of that stuff, but it doesn't really say, hey, Captain America, Iron Man, and all these cats are doing something. This tells you exactly what's going to happen in the book. So,
Right. They should
uh,
have called it like superheroes kill aliens.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the Super Friends sounded better. You know what I mean? They at least told the story a little bit better. Hey, we're pals. So anyway, yeah.
The marketing background has to be huge because I know from experience and a lot of indie
Mhm.
comic creators I've talked to is making the book no problem, ideas
Yeah,
no problem, writing scripts, doing art, nothing is a problem. How do you get someone to look at it? No idea.
right. That's a benefit I have for just spending 20 years in design and marketing teams, ad firms, things like that. I'm a creative director today for an advertising and marketing group that is completely supportive of my dreams of doing this. They're amazing, and hence why I'm here at noon on a in the middle of a work day, because they're like, go get it, Dan. And they, so it's a challenge. One thing I learned in my day job is you cannot do everything. Okay. And that's the biggest challenge that so many creators face. They write their book, they draw their book, they have to put the production of it together. Excuse me. And they have to do all of that, and then put on the owner, salesperson, marketer hat as well. So that's a challenge for me. I cheat. I know I can't do it all, so I hire somebody to help me, and I have a publicist that helps put this all together because I mean, yes, I can write a press release, but after that, I need somebody with contacts, to get us on podcasts like this, to get press. I mean, like last one we were on the homepage of comiccon.com. That doesn't happen by luck. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And so you gotta work it. You just gotta work it. Whether it's your social media channels, I do a lot of Instagram live draws, where get an audience in there and watch me draw with my fingertip on my screen, and they just think that's weird. But it's you just have to find a way, because you've heard the phrase a thousand times. You're not just selling a comic book; you're selling yourself.
Yeah.
And so you have to find a way to connect with people. I mean, yes, you can have the best artwork, but even if you have mediocre artwork and you can really connect with somebody or connect with an audience, then you have an advantage over somebody who has the best thing ever and is never going to get seen.
hmm It
Yeah,
doesn't matter how good the book is if no one knows it exists.
exactly. I do not profess to be the best writer, the best artist at all. That's not who I am. I got good ideas. I'm a decent creator, and we came up with a cool comic, and people dig the artwork, and people dig the story. But the thing that worked the best in our advantage was cool title, neat premise, and easy to sell to press or whatever, because it
Mhm.
is unique. And when people get to read the book, and then they're like, oh shit, and we got something completely different than what we expected, and they're liking it. So hooray. you know
Yeah, that of course, here they go.
yeah, no worries.
That is a really good message to put out to other indie creators is that you can't do it all yourself. And you're writing and drawing, which is a huge piece of the puzzle, and an even bigger piece is the marketing. And I've fallen into that trap, and I've talked to many creators. Not to repeat myself, but
Sure.
it is just such a big thing that you try to do it all. You're just, I'm going to take it all on, but it's like you did marketing for 20 years. I don't care
Mhm.
how many YouTube videos you watch. Someone is not going to take a crash course and do better than you.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, we did good on our first campaign. I'm a small
But I didn't
fish in
mean
a
Bigfoot specifically. I meant
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, I mean, and I'm just trying to apply what I do in my day job to what we're doing here.
Mhm.
It used to be a real hard problem for me to like write about myself. I used to give me the heebie-jeebies, something fierce. Now it's just like at this point in time, I just get over it. I mean, the little things that trip us up. I always call it majoring in the minors. If you're spending all your time thinking about minor piddly bullshit, you're wasting your time. Make a
Mhm.
list of all the things you need to do, scratch off the stuff that's the easiest to do, knock those out, and then tackle your big problems. Because having that framework together will keep you on task. The more you start thinking about what's this person doing or what's that person doing or getting your feelings hurt because somebody didn't retweet you or you know what I mean, just whatever. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. I see Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whatever, where they have where the book is horribly late. The person's bitching about their updates about how they're depressed and all this stuff, and then you go see them on Twitter and they're like just bashing the world. I'm like, how depressed are you really, man? You got so much time on your hands to be on social. Draw, just
Your book would have
draw.
been done 6 months ago if you just stopped tweeting.
Exactly, exactly. So, and then look, and there has to be a lot of tweeting. There has to be a lot of Instagramming,
Well, the right
TikToking, whatever.
tweeting.
Yeah, but make it about your product. I mean,
Yeah.
look, my attitude is, and I get a lot of Facebook requests from people who have read the comic, and I appreciate that, but I don't really respond to them because that's my life over here, and which Facebook I barely use, but it's friends and family, and I really exist on Instagram and Twitter talking comics. I mean, I'm not interested in the politics. I'm not interested in the crap. I just want to make comics. I want to see amazing comics. I want to meet amazing creators and relish in the fact that we are all doing this together because I don't look at this as a competition. The people I've met on Instagram, especially, they're so unbelievably supportive. We've built this really neat pocket of Instagram where we're all helping each other out and we're all giving each other advice. I had a creator come to me yesterday. What do you think of this lettering? It's totally distracting. Don't, yeah, change that to something that is not going to bother somebody's eyes because bad lettering will take somebody out of a good comic real fast, and vice versa. I mean, like the live launches, we do live launch on Instagram for the last campaign. We're doing one for this campaign. I did not invent that. I saw another creator, I think it was Jason Farrow from The Convictor, who did that, and I thought it was brilliant. And all I did was take that and then amend it a few different ways to make it what I needed it to be. But I completely give 100% of the credit of why we launched so quickly or why we funded so quickly because at the end of the night on that live, we had over 200 people watch that thing, so that I'll take it, I'll take it every day of the week and twice on Sunday if we can pull that shit off.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get a quarter of those people to fund your lowest tier, you're halfway home.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's great. As far as the Kickstarter of it all, because that's a whole animal in itself. I mean,
hmm
creating the comic, marketing the comic, and then you have Kickstarter as its own little category. Had you done Kickstarters previous to your own books?
I had been a part of I had been a part of a couple of Indiegogos for Halloween Man, and I really didn't do much in the way of that. But when it was time to do this, I mean, I just felt like Kickstarter was the way to go. I like the platform, I like the creators, I like the message behind, or lack of message behind it, whatever you want to put it. I like I like the all or nothing thing. Some people that freaks them out a little bit, but I don't need training wheels. We'll get this done one way or the other, And so I dig the vibe on there, and Kickstarter treated us real well. We got projects we love. We were at the top of the board, so to speak, getting a lot of visibility. I mean, 212 backers. That's not a bad way to spend your first campaign. So
Well, funding in
um,
7 minutes.
yeah, that was cool too, man. It was great. So why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
Yeah,
I'm a Kickstarter guy. I like the activity I see on there. I like the creativity I see on there.
very cool. And with
Yeah.
the two comics you mentioned, did you have any other ones aside from those, Latex Man and Bigfoot Knows Karate?
Yeah. Oh, I don't have the proof in front of me. I just got proofs of Masters of the Obvious. Masters of the Obvious is a sci-fi space parody. It You got characters like the probable Dr. Biclops. He's got two eyes, and the Visible Woman. You can't miss her. And they fly around in a battle toaster called the USS Screensaver. There's more characters. They're USS Screensaver, and they have pop culture adventures throughout the galaxy. So it was a sci-fi space parody. It was fun. We did a year's worth of web comics and then had that collected into an edition. And
Oh, cool.
I did that with the former artist on Latex Avengers. His name was Bon Adami. Unfortunately, Bon passed about 4 years ago, and this is the first time I'm having the book printed in since that time. And so it was when the proofs came in today from Comics Wellspring. I mean, a tear definitely rolled up in my eye for a little bit there, just looking at his work and missing my friend. We also co-created a project called Excelsius: The Uphill Adventures of a Boy Named Stanley, and that was for the Stan Lee Foundation. And so it was cool. We did that project. It was a Y7 thing. We only did 12 weeks of it. That's what the contract called for. And for 12 weeks, Stan Lee tweeted our comic. I mean, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was really Stan, but there was somebody in his office tweeting for him, and that was really cool. So it was really so I did that. Did some work on Halloween Man. I did some work for Guano Guy covers for them. Mr. Marvelous Man. I just did a cover for Adrian Hodges, Conjurer for Dork Art Studios, which is a friend of mine on Instagram. And I've done some other things, like I did some trading cards for some people, and that kind of thing, just for the fun of it. Um, the artists have treated me so well that it's like you got to pay. The fan artists and stuff like that, or other creators who just feel the need to do your artwork. That I mean, look at this one. Look at this. Is that insane?
Yeah,
You
I mean,
see
that
that?
looks like a legit poster you'd buy at a con.
Right, right. And this is a gentleman named Eamon Cowan out of Ireland who did that one. This piece on the deluxe edition cover of Bigfoot One. Here, can you see that?
Yeah.
This was a piece of freaking fan art, man. The guy sent it to me and then mailed me the original right there and said, "This is a gift for you. I love what you're doing with the comic." I said, "How about I pay you?" And we put this on the deluxe edition variant. And he's got a wraparound cover for us on this issue. He's doing he's doing interiors for a side story that we're doing that'll be coming up after issue 2. So holy cow, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you can't trip into this kind of luck sometimes. I mean, it's just met so many incredible artists. There's a gentleman who's doing a piece for us, who did a piece for us for this issue, and I'm a big Sin City fan, love Frank Miller, and he did Bigfoot Knows Karate in the Sin City style. Man, I geeked out so hard. He also did. Oh yeah, dude! And I'm launching with another creator. Casey and I will be launching with another creator named Christopher Michael from a book called Crit. And so we're going to launch together on the live stream. And Dennis, who did the Sin City artwork, he also did. You remember the Spawn Batman cover with like Batman on top and Spawn in the bottom? They're jumping like they did
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Dark Knight Returns. He did a piece of Caliber from Crit, and then he did a piece, and then he did Bigfoot Knows Karate, and they're jumping in the lightning. And so if you back my book and you back Chris's book, you're going to get the prints to go along with it. So, try a little incentivize everybody to back both projects.
That's awesome. And it really sounds like, along with your marketing experience, you're either naturally good at it or you figured out how to perfectly do networking.
I mean, at first I was a little nervous because I, worked in comics for a long time and took a break when I got married, and I got some stepchildren moved in, and they're awesome, but now they're 17 and 21. No, now they're 18 and 22. But I was old; they were old enough to where I could take time to start drawing again, and What the hell was my point? I completely lost it when I was doing kid math. But anyway, I digress.
So you said you, for as far as networking goes, you used to be in the comics
Yes,
and
I
fell
was.
out of it for a bit.
Yeah, so once so I was a little nervous to get involved because I had been burned in the past. I had people owed me money, whatever, things like that. I had a script stolen. I
That
mean,
sucks. Yeah.
give me a break. Come on. Anyway, whatever. So that happened, but that's okay. We in turn, I took some time off, and when I came back, I was a little skittish to get involved with everybody. But once I kind of got into it, man, I've just made so many friends. In fact, I'm in next month. No, at the end of this month, I'm going to Baltimore Comic Con, and we're going to have there's like 15 people I know from Instagram who are going to be there. And so we're having a big dinner on the Friday night where everybody's going to get together and get to see each other face to face, shake hands, give hugs, whatever it is, because we've talked so much on the phone and over DMs and live streams and live draws and all of that stuff. I feel like I know most of these cats. I mean,
Yeah.
how much that so I've made a whole different crop of friends in indie, and they're so supportive. You can't beat it.
That's awesome. And I heard Baltimore is a great convention for creators too.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I've never been to that show before, so I'm really stoked for that to happen. Yeah, I got my proofs today from the printer. Those are getting shipped out in just, less than a week. And, man, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, that is
So,
as far as the proofs, we kind of I kind of left it, but obviously you were a little bit sad about your friend passing, but it's cool that you now have this legacy of his work that you can physically hold.
oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. And, look, he's sitting. I'm not much of a believer or anything. I believe in karma. I believe in the golden rule, and then kind of lose me after that. But what I will say is this: he's sitting right here when I'm drawing.
Hmm.
I know he's here. And how I know, because he's standing over me going, "You're doing that wrong." And he would say, "Fix that line, make it smooth." I know he would. I know he'd be, because when we were working together, I was writing only and he was doing the artwork. And like anytime I came up with an idea that I'd start drawing, he's like, "Hey, let me draw that book," and it was always the same thing. I loved him, man. He was like a little brother to me. He was 11 years younger than me, and we just clicked. And like he'd just show up at my apartment randomly. "Hey man, you want to order a pizza?" I mean, like, yeah, it was a good kid. And he is thoroughly missed by the entire Austin indie comics community for sure. But
Yeah, it's
seeing the book again is amazing, and seeing the proofs that I got today. I mean, I got a limited edition book that we're doing as a Baltimore, limited, and it's this cover that I was showing you before, but except
mhm.
it's got the red foil on the cover.
Oh, that's
And yeah, so I saw that for the first time. I'm like, yes, I've never done one of those before, and these variant covers things are kind of new for me. I'm still getting used to that.
it sounds like you have an audience for it, which is great because
Yeah,
people
I do.
people love variant covers.
They do. I mean, when I was reading comics before I got into it, I never really gave variant covers much of a thought. And then as I got started doing Kickstarter, people were clamoring for them. So, that's why we did the 4-pack in the last book. You could buy all 4 covers at a discount and I'd sign all of them for you. We're doing that again in this one. And we're even offering an 8-pack if you want to get all 4 covers from the regular and deluxe editions of number 1, and you want to get the regular and deluxe editions of number 2. You can have all 8 of them. I'll sign them all and ship them on out. So, I mean, it's cool. And the deluxe edition, can I talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we do regular editions. Like the first one was 30 pages. Issue 2 is like a little bit more, like 35, 37. I can't remember. And so you'll get the regular edition full story, no sweat. Deluxe edition, what we did in the first one is we took all that fan art that we got, we took some of the really choice pieces, okay, and included those into the book. I mean, these are incredible pieces. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Amazing. So we did the fan art. I did some extra sketches in there. And the other thing that was really cool that set us apart, we did a director's commentary. So if you clicked that QR code, you remember the DVDs back in the day? You get the
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. So you click on this, and it takes you to a YouTube link where we recorded a Zoom, had the book up on full screen, and you could go listen to us gab on about gab. You can listen to us talk about the comic, at length, because it was really the first time we got to discuss the actual plot with anyone. And so we had ourselves, me and Casey, and the High Heel Gamer hosted it, and a couple other folks, and we talked about the book ad nauseum for like 2 hours. But people loved the director's commentary. Man, it was a big hit, and so we're bringing it back for issue 2.
That's an awesome idea, and that's a really great way to make it work.
Yeah, the QR code was. I used to think about doing magazine-sized books and having the comic at regular size inside the magazine with annotations and stuff to do
Right.
it as a director's. What a headache that sounds to read,
Yeah,
So
1 page, but yeah, 35 pages of that. It's like
it'd
it's
be
just like it's
obnoxious.
the notebooks from Seven.
Oh yeah, there you go. So the QR code was the best way we could pull that off, I think.
Yeah, that's genius.
Thank you.
Marketing.
Marketing.
Um,
Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
do you want to kind of go through because the Kickstarter is launching today as of recording, so probably yesterday as of when this is going to hit YouTube.
Okay.
Talk about your campaign and your tiers.
Sure. So, first off, I'm going to mention the early birds because this is coming in at enough time for you to take part in the early birds because I'm running those for 2 days only. We are doing a physical catch up of issues 1 and 2, and I will sign those for you and that is at a reduced rate compared to their normal cover prices. We are also doing the limited edition foil cover. We're offering 10 only for the early bird, and you get that issue and the regular cover as well with that. And then also after that, we have the 4 packs are going to be offered at an early bird rate as well. I think it's like $10 off the regular tier, and we'll throw in some extras in there with you guys for you guys as well because we do mini prints on the variants. Whoops, knocking things over. We do come back to that later. We do mini prints on the variants. These are the mini prints from the last campaign, so you can see that without the glare. Those were the mini prints. We include those in the variant editions of the book, and stickers and all sorts of stuff. So we'll load them up. We'll load up the early birds with some extras for sure. After that, you got a digital tier, digital catch up, physical, my cover, the Zip Alegria's Virgin variant, Jevin Loop's cover for the deluxe, and then Adam's wraparound Virgin variant for the deluxe variant. And then Luis's foil cover. So we're going to have all of those available to you. And then I really do try to keep these simple, despite the billions of covers we seem to have for this issue. So really, after that, it's gonna be mini print stickers. Probably we'll do some trading cards in for for stretch goals and that sort of thing. Those were really big last time. And the mini prints were just the biggest thing. People went nuts over those. So we're gonna work those into stretch goals. Hopefully we fund and we'll be able to do those types of things. Beyond that, there's a retailer package. So you can buy 5 copies of one, 5 copies of two at a reduced rate if you're a retailer. That's available to you. Trying to think what else. Oh, ad space. Creators, we do have ad space available in the book. We did 2 ads in the last issue. Those went in 30 minutes on the campaign. So we're opening it up to 4 half-page ads this issue. So those are just another way to reach your audience,
Yeah, that's a really cool idea too, and it's fun because it's tough buying, and I don't want to like start bad mouthing, the big two or anything, but it's tough for me to buy a $7 book that's like 14 pages of content and 7 pages of ads,
Right.
like milk and stuff. But to do an
Sure.
indie book that's ads for other indie books, for some reason, I love. Like it may seem
Sure.
a contradiction, but
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, I've bought ads in other people's indie books. I mean, I put up a thing in my Instagram stories that just said, Are you publishing an indie comic? I want to buy ad space in your book. DM me." You would be surprised how few people reached out. I
wow.
was shocked. I'm willing to give you money giving it, I'm making it rain, and you guys don't want to jump on that. You're crazy.
And it's for
So,
a
but
product right in line with what they're doing. It's not like you're
it,
trying to advertise some weird thing. They're like, I don't want any part of that.
yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not doing, what was the thing? The Floby. I'm not advertising a Floby, for crying out loud. I'm making, we're doing something relevant here. So it's shocking to me sometimes where, I wish, like, I wish the best for every indie creator. I want us all to hit 10 grand plus in a campaign. I want everybody to have that, because where everybody's working just as hard as each other, right?
Mhm.
But you know, you gotta think outside the box a little bit. And I mean, I have ad space in the new Retribution issue from Robert Garcia that's coming out. I bought ad space in several books, just because, and they were months out. It didn't matter. I just put October 2020 and October 2022 in the ad, and they could, and just something for them to keep an eyeball out on. So, I'm going to Baltimore. I'm going to have postcards that have the QR code for the launch, or for the campaign on there. As they buy a book, I'm going to stick a postcard in their comic and go, here you go. Don't forget to check out the Kickstarter. Anything I can do to, yeah, everything I can do to hustle, I'm going to hustle. I want this thing to be successful. I want it to be a book that, and the other thing is, I want it to be a book that people enjoy reading. I mean, screw the campaign. I just want them to be something they enjoy. There's no pop culture references in these comics. There's nothing that's going to date it. 30 years from now, I want you to be able to pick this book up like you picked up Sin City, and be able to go, yes, I can follow along and keep on, and not go, what's a Gungam style or some crap like that,
Right. Yeah. Whatever trend is happening.
Yeah, whatever trend is happening. And like the kid's eating corn. It's amazing. 5 years from now, you don't give a damn about the kid who's eating the corn. You know, I'm so tired of that kid right now. I'm sorry, kid. I'm sure you're great and you love your corn, but
I'm
my
happy to
wife
say I have
shouldn't.
no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
good. Thank God. Just run, run, run. My wife shows me this corn kid all the time, and auto tune versions of this corn kid. It's terrible.
No, I stay
So,
so far away from that stuff, but it's probably a detriment because now I'm never on social media to push my stuff. But no, it's cool what you're doing. And it just from the short time we've been talking, it really sounds like, I mean, not just your marketing background, which I'm sure I brought up way too many times by now, but the fact that you are thinking outside the box and you're like, this is an indie community, we can all raise each other up, because
yep,
not even people doing it by choice, like not consciously, but it seems like a lot of indie creators are just like, they feel like an island, but you don't
yes.
have to be.
Do not have to be. No, I mean, look, you got a question for me? DM me. DM me. I mean, look, if it's not completely nonsensical, which the 9 out of 10 they're not, I will completely have a conversation with you about whatever you want. I mean, there's a gentleman who has an extremely successful Kickstarter going right now. I won't say his name because you know, but he contacted. He knows somebody who knows me, and they asked if he could get me together with them, and we sat on the phone for like 2 hours talking about Kickstarter, and and just picking each other's brain. Didn't know him from Adam, but it didn't matter. I mean, I knew of his book, and in fact, I backed his first one. I thought it was brilliant, but we didn't know each other, and now, I mean, I saw him, I chat with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that is really cool. And I think the indie community needs more people like you. I mean, I'm sure
Oh,
there's nobody out there who's like, I won't talk to another indie creator. They just don't think to reach out in the ways that you are.
sure, sure. No, I'm not bashful. I mean, I'll reach out to somebody and be like, "Hey, what'd you do for this? How did you do that?" I mean, I got a cat right now that I know who's doing metal covers, and I'm like, and I've been researching those for a while now, just looking at see how feasible that is. So I'm going to be watching that campaign really hard when that launches, just to see how people react to it, the price point, that kind of thing, and just see if it's a viable product.
Appreciate you coming
Uh,
on and just giving knowledge and also making cool comics. I mean, I personally found that really helpful just as an indie creator myself, but I'm sure a lot of other people are going to feel the same way.
Sent that to you.
So,
Please check out BigfootKnowsKarate.com. It is the hub for all things Bigfoot Knows Karate. You can find the link to the Kickstarter there. You can find my Instagram, Twitter feeds, or Twitter channel, whatever you call them. The links to those right there. You can buy T-shirts and coffee mugs and all sorts of stuff in our TeePublic store that is linked right from the website. Um, Also, you can check out preview pages from the issue 1 if you want to do that. There's a preview of the issue 2 on globalcomics.com right now. So if you go to Global Comics, That's with an X, not a CS. Go there and you can check out the short preview of that. Search Bigfoot Knows Karate. It's there. What else? What else? Really, the big thing is this is going to be coming out the day after our launch. So, check out Kickstarter, check out the campaign. There's something in it for everyone, I hope. And if not, I understand. But it's going to be a fun book. We've got issue 2. It's got a chupacabra with a shotgun that'll knock your socks off. So get ready for that. And thank you for listening to me ramble on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dan, thanks again. Good luck with the Kickstarter. I mean, I'm guessing you don't really need it, but good luck just the same. And it sounds like everything's going awesome.
Well, I appreciate you, Adam. Thanks so much for having me on. Like I said, I was looking forward to this one for sure.
Yeah, anytime. Hang on to our name, and whenever you got the next thing coming down the line, we'll do it again.
Boom. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank Dan one more time for taking time out of his very busy schedule to come on and talk to me about Bigfoot Knows Karate, about comics, about creating, about conventions. Can't iterate enough how super inspiring I found this. Check out the Kickstarter, links in the description. Even if it's not really your thing, check it out anyway, because indie creators got to stick together, and I really don't know how this couldn't be someone's thing, because it's just an awesome, badass time. Please make sure you like and subscribe. We got a lot more interviews, new movie coverage, comic reviews, all this great stuff coming your way. You're not going to want to miss out. We got Bing Comic Con coming up. We got Rhode Island Comic Con covering up. Tons of stuff coming to the channel. You're not going to want to miss out. Like, subscribe, bell, do all the things. Make sure you listen to So Was Your Podcast every single week, wherever you get your podcasts. So Was Your Podcast can also be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get multiple monthly bonus shows. SoWasYourPodcast.com is your resource for reviews, recommendations, merchandise, videos, and more. We love hearing feedback, so drop us a note in the comments, leave us something on social media. All the accounts will be found after the show and in the show notes. And on a more personal note, speaking of indie comic creators, little self-serving here, me and my friend have our own indie comic going. It's called Social Studies. It's a slice of life, coming of age, comedy comic. We write it like a sitcom. We do it in the styles of the 90s cartoons that we grew up on, we love, and inspired us. You can find all the available issues right now at socialstudiescomic.com or on Comixology. We're working on getting on Global Comics. We've been reaching out, and we have another 4 or 5 issues in some form of development, so there's more social studies coming your way. We're not stopping. It's still coming. Tons of content for you. Check it out. Thanks.